How are modern grocery stores designed to get you to fail as a diabetic? They carefully craft your shopping experience from the foods you eat to how much you end up spending without you even knowing it. Each and every one of their psychological tricks will be exposed today, from the plan layouts to the sensory overload. In order to keep you healthy and free from complications, you must get to know your number one enemy. Welcome to the Resilient Diabetic. This is the channel we turn ordinary, struggling diabetics into extraordinary, well-controlled diabetics. If you are brand new to this channel, I welcome you. My name is Sampat. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that gray notification bell. That way, you will be alerted when new life-changing episodes have been published. And if you've learned something new today, please smash that like button for me. As with all my videos, this should not be considered personal medical advice. This is my interpretation of the latest research. If you want medical advice, please always consult your physician. When you go grocery shopping, I bet you think you are in full control. Most of the time, you're probably organized. You've got a shopping list, and you have a hardened rule against impulse buys. I'm here to tell you, you are not. Stores use extensive customer research to carefully craft your shopping experience. From the foods you do end up buying to how much you end up spending, they even know the sensitive data about you, such as your illnesses. As diabetics, we are the single most vulnerable group to the grocery store and other food retailers. Everything they do is designed to get us to fail. If we were a professional sports team and we knew exactly what our competitor's game plan was, or if we were in a business and we knew what our competition was going to do next, that would give us a huge upper hand. In the episode, Why Carbohydrates and Fats Together Cause Insulin Resistance, which I will put in the description box below if you've missed it, I mentioned that when we do eat fats and carbs together, and at the same time, we not only generate higher than normal insulin levels, but a super addictive effect of dopamine occurs, which then releases a feeling of reward or a high similar to taking drugs. But what research has shown is that the brain responds to fatty and sugary foods even before they enter our mouths. Merely seeing or smelling a desirable item excites that reward circuit. The result is an intense feeling of pleasure. How do retailers use this against you? Stay tuned as you will find out. The human body has evolved to eat when it's hungry and to stop when it's full. But the goal of our modern food industry is the exact opposite. Not only are they in full control of our health organizations like the American Heart Association, but they are secretly behind the scenes setting our nutritional guidelines and the information our healthcare team gets educated on. This industry has become the authority for what you bring home to feed and nourish your family. The bottom line, it's all about profit. They simply manufacture products that stimulate your appetite, so you eat more of it, but will leave you hungry for even more. The food industry quickly understood that manufacturing hyper-palatable products, notice I said the word products because we cannot call them foods anymore, is a very simple process. All you do is incorporate a layer of cheap oxidized vegetable oils, refined sugars, and salt into every product you manufacture. This is hidden or in plain sight in every processed and packaged food you bring home, from the name brand table salt to your healthy store-bought yogurt. Wait, did I just say table salt? Yes, I did. If you have not noticed, there is dextrose or plain glucose sugars in your table salt. Now, they will claim that the sugar is added to prevent the potassium iodide from breaking down into iodine. Hogwash. They do this to sell more salt. The sugar in the salt makes it less salty, so you need more of it. Aren't you glad you are subscribed to this channel? Because it only gets better. Now, let's analyze how your local grocery store psychologically is levered to not only get you to spend more, but to manipulate you and your family's health. First, before you even walk in, the big overriding theme: stores are intentionally laid out in a disorienting way so that it takes more time to find what you're looking for. And the more items you walk by, the more likely you are to make an impulse buy. Also notice, there are very few shopping baskets for that quick purchase. What you've got left are those gargantuan shopping carts. These are intentionally designed to trick your brain. When you double the size of a shopping cart, you will buy 40% more. In Whole Foods, for example, the shopping carts over the last 2 years have doubled in size. Stores are also physically designed to make us stay in that store. The entrances are laid out to be a one-way only and are blocked, so you have to either walk through the entire store or at least through the checkouts to try and get back out. The newer grocery stores, and especially the big box retailers, will almost never have windows and clocks, just like a casino. They intentionally block out that natural light because they don't want you to know how long you're spending in the store. How many times have you said, I just need to stop off at the grocery store to grab a few things? And yet there you stand with a stock shopping cart before you, waiting in that checkout stand, hungry. The question is, where did that hunger come from? Because you were not hungry before you walked in that door. The manipulation all begins at the entrance. And most stores will have 2 entrances. So you're going to be flanked on both sides. You'll either first walk into fresh flowers on one side or a bakery/deli on the other. The flower department will immediately enhance the image of the store. When we walk into something that is pretty, it smells great, it will build the notion of fresh. The other entrances will have the bread, bakery/deli that gets your salivary glands going. They intentionally know the sight and smell of freshly baked bread or carbs will get the body to start releasing salivary amylase in the mouth. This is the primary enzyme in the saliva, which begins the breakdown of carbohydrates into simple glucose that will be absorbed in the small intestines. This starts the hunger process. The hungrier you are when you shop, the more food you're going to buy. Immediately past the flowers is where you will see the produce section. And the flowers lead into a tempting sensory experience. Stores need to communicate to the shoppers that the flowers and the produce is fresh, or else people won't buy anything. Produce is placed first on your path, not to encourage you to buy more of it, but to make you feel super healthy. Second, that sensory impact of those scents, textures, and colors. Think fat tomatoes, glossy, shiny eggplants, and red, delicious strawberries. Makes us feel both upbeat and adds to that hunger. Once you've had a few options such as fruits and vegetables in your cart, you feel good about what you're going to buy next. That means you're more than likely to purchase less healthy products throughout the store. What are my shopping tips for produce? Simply, they are twofold. Always reach to the back and dig for the freshest items. The smart retailers will always have the oldest merchandise in the front or on the top, since it's code dated and they need to get rid of it quicker. Second, let's briefly discuss the vegetable misting of water. I'm sure you've noticed that weird water misting that goes off every 30 minutes or so. You thought it was to keep the produce fresh, right? Dead wrong. It's actually a psychological trick that makes us think they are fresher. Spraying vegetables does not hydrate them, but brings on another problem. Too much moisture festers mold. The simple appearance of glistening vegetables is much more appealing than dry, dull ones. The real reason they are misting is because most vegetables are sold by weight, which means the water that stays on them adds to the price. So always remember to shake your soggy vegetables. What else will be intentionally designed in the front sides as you walk in? The bank and ATM to get more money in your hands. So will there be a deli and possibly a coffee bar. Some of you may even have a Starbucks. If you're hungry for lunch or you need that cup of coffee, you will shop in a hurry. They do not want that. If you have lunch right there in the store, you will stay and relax. Take your time and spend more. Everything we as diabetics need that are the healthy options that keep our blood sugars well controlled are always placed at the far exteriors of the store. We will have to walk through the entire store to get to them. Again, all done on purpose. And it is these center aisles we must walk through are what the food industry controls the most. These highly processed and packaged foods, they so want us to desperately buy. And most importantly, these center aisles in the middle of the store are the direct cause of insulin resistance and diabetes in the very first place. So now you've noticed that most stores are laid out exactly the same. The fruits and the vegetables always seem to be the first section. The milk, the eggs, and the meat are always hidden way in the back of the store. Grocery store shelves are also strategically laid out to sway your purchase. Companies pay that grocer top dollar to be placed at eye level, especially when they are marketing to our children. Placing kiddie, sugary loaded cereals, juices, and these highly processed packaged snacks where kids can see them is a major marketing tactic used by manufacturers. They know that if our children can get attached to a product and beg their parents enough, chances are good that that product will end up in the grocery cart. And unfortunately, this is where diabetes begins. The general merchandise, cooking ingredients, and canned goods are always in the center aisles, drawing you deeper and deeper into the market to expose you to the non-essentials along the way. This is also why grocery stores place the most expensive items at eye level, while putting the lower cost products in the hard to reach, out of sight locations. Do you know what the bullseye zone is? This is the second and third shelf from the top. That is where the best sellers and other leading brands are placed. And this is the key. Not only is this the best placement for products, but the manufacturers have to pay to be put in those prized locations. You tend to see the higher priced items or the highest markup or profit in that bullseye zone. On the bottom shelves, you will find the store's private labels, the oversized items, and the bulk items. Top shelf is where you will find the smaller brands, the regional brands, and the gourmet brands. These smaller brands usually don't have enough budgets to pay for more favorable placement positions. So, you've got what you've needed, and now you're on your way out. You think you're home free. Not so fast. They still have a few technical tricks left. First, they have narrowed the checkout lanes and have made them exceptionally tight. This is where impulse buys such as candy, snacks, and now even energy drinks occur. They need to turn waiting time into buying time. This is always the most profitable area of the store because you are feeling the hungriest. Say you're unloading and you suddenly realize that you've put something in that gargantuan shopping cart that you've regretted. The tight checkout stands will block you from getting out to try and put it back. What about these loyalty cards? Think the store is just being super nice to thank you for shopping with them? Not even close. First, loyalty cards keep you loyal to that company over their competitors. Second, and most importantly, they track all of your purchasing data, which they can use to advertise back at you more effectively. Do you really want your grocery store to know what your entire family drinks and how often? What kind of over-the-counter medicines you use, even the alcohol wipes, the Band-Aids, and the glucose tabs. The pharmacy's register at your local grocery store is also tied into your rewards card. Do you trust this highly sensitive information won't be sold or used against you? Think again. It is. Your doctor and healthcare team are not the only ones who know what medication you and your family are on. Anonymous third parties are now privy to your entire life. The smart grocery stores and new big box retailers can enrich the data they have collected from the rewards cards by buying customer information from third-party companies known as data brokers. These data brokers collect information from a variety of sources to create profiles of us with information about our habits, our patterns, and personalities. This produces a clear picture of you and I. This detailed picture of what your motivations are, the times that you shop, can all be used to nudge you to purchase something or even behave in a certain way. Your enemy knows more about you than you do. They know you are a diabetic. They know what you eat. They know what you shouldn't be eating. And they know your weaknesses. And they will use this against you. But now that you're armed with this knowledge, you as a resilient diabetic finally have that upper hand. Why is it so hard for diabetics to lose weight, to control our blood sugars, and get that A1C into that non-diabetic range? Most importantly, how do you maintain that happy lifestyle to prevent any of the long-term diabetic complications? Does the standard advice of eat less, exercise more deliver results for people living with diabetes? Or is it a recipe for disaster? I bet you would love to learn more. So the first link you will see will be to subscribe to this all-important life-changing channel. The second will be the link to the playlist on weight and fat loss episodes. Have a great and productive day, and we will see you soon with another new episode, which are generally released weekly. Bye for now.